Yo, Counterattack podcast for myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. Yes, so it's been a couple of weeks. I've been away in Nigeria doing content with William Troost Ekong, who's the Nigeria captain. I'm going to post, I've been posting on my Instagram, on Twitter, but obviously I've not really updated my YouTube. So I'm going to put out a couple of videos that the ones that are already on my Instagram, I'm going to put them out as shorts on YouTube, so you guys actually see what I was up to out there. But it was like a charity game for the launch of his foundation in Nigeria. So we went out there. There were players who played: Kelechi Iheanacho, Wilfred Ndidi, Ekong obviously he played himself, Kanu Okocha was there, and I was just doing the media, the content for it. So it was good vibes. I was out there for 2 weeks, so that's why I didn't do any content. But we're back with the Euros, and the Euros has started well. I can't lie. I've been enjoying the games, and ironically, the one game, I felt like the Euros came around very quickly all of a sudden, because 1 minute they're having their warm-up games, next minute it's like, we're here. I don't know why, I just always thought that there's a longer period between the last warm-up game and the actual tournament, but people having warm-up games on like the Monday, before like Monday just gone. And I'm just like, oh, wow, okay, cool. But, pardon me, sorry. But yeah, we're here. It's kicked off nicely, ironically, the game with the least amount of goals so far, because there's been goals scored in every game. And the one with the least amount of goals is the one where you kind of thought would actually at least have a good 3-4 goals. And, and that's England. And that's England. I'm going to start there because obviously this is after the England game. Just so you lot know the time I kind of record to get content out to you guys. Like, it's after the England game. And we know England played at 8 o'clock. So, and I didn't watch it here at the studio. I watched it at home. So you kind of know the dedication, even though you're like, but you don't consistently put videos out and blah, 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 blah. But don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Euros we're going to grow. We're going to see how much we can grow during the Euros. Let's go. Right. So this England game, obviously in the build up, whatever. In the build up to the tournament, it was all about the team that Southgate was going to play. And I felt like it was, when I saw the starting lineup and I saw Gahey, Stones, I'm not too mad about, especially against like Serbia. Trippier left back, Walker right back. I think that's as good as they're going to get in this tournament. And obviously Pickford at the back. I felt like that's as good as it's going to be, the defence. And even though that defence, I don't think in the latter stage of the tournament it's going to be good enough, for now, it's okay. And Gahey played well. Stones was just Stones. And it's a shame because if Stones was Gahey coming in, and yeah, Stones was like coming in for his first few caps and whatever, people would probably put more praise on John Stones. But because that's just the level that we know he plays at, it's like whatever. But Gahey was really, really good. There were a couple moments, but this is me over-analysing. There were a couple moments where I could see like, he got caught out there and blah, blah, blah. Against better opposition, they would punish him. But, there's no point in doing all of that. For the main part, he was good. And, those things will just come, and they come with games and, playing more minutes, because international football is a different beast. It's not Premier League football. And I think that's what people get confused. That's why there's people that can perform at high levels in the Premier League and at international level. They're just not doing it. But anyway, but yeah, and in the midfield, listen, it was interesting. So interesting. I never ever for one moment felt like Mainu, because I know there was a big, thing that Mainu should start. I never ever for 1 second ever felt like Mainu should start. That's not because he's not good enough. I just think that you need that experience to play at that level. And, it's okay to just bring him in slowly. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't think he should just go in straight away and play. I think that there's better midfield combinations. The obvious midfield combination that I would have gone with would Rice, Bellingham and Foden. That's the obvious one I'd go for. But obviously he's put Foden out on the left today, Saka on the right, Harry Kane obviously up top. But in the middle with Bellingham and Rice, you had Trent. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold in centre midfield. I'm not a fan, but I'm not. This ain't me saying I'm not a fan because he's not good. No, I'm not a fan because he's a right back. And there's a difference between an inverted right back, so a right back going into centre midfield and playing here and there. And it's another thing to play as a centre midfielder. So, you know, it's no secret that you received the ball differently. There was that moment in the first half where he received the ball under pressure. It's gone. They had a chance, but it's whatever. It's a mistake. I just think that as a centre midfielder, he doesn't play like a centre midfielder. He plays like a right back in centre midfield. And the job you've given Trent in that midfield, in terms of creation and stuff like that, you've got that already. Like, you left Maddison at home. Do you get what I'm saying? You could have easily played Maddison in there. You could have easily played even the job you're asking him to do. You could have easily played. I'd much prefer to see Wharton in there than Trent. And again, this ain't me saying that Trent is not good. He's not a centre midfielder. And we need to just stop all of this, you know, play him in centre midfield, because when you come up against real centre midfielders, it's a different thing. And Serbia are not, you know, you've got Savic in there. Milinkovic, Savic, you got real ballers in there, and Trent had a bit of a difficult time, you know. So yeah, I don't think Trent was good at all today. I think he got away with it because in the first half England controlled it. So he got away with it because England controlled it. But he's not a centre midfielder, and we need to really stop that. And I always mention how earlier in the season when Liverpool played Crystal Palace, they played Trent in centre midfield, and Will Hughes had a field day with him. And that showed me all I needed to know about everything I already knew. Do you know what I'm saying? That just rubber stamped it. So yeah, that was a bit of a yeah, you don't need to be doing that. And all it does is just complicates things for England. You know, I'd much rather see, you know, if you're gonna play Foden out wide, I'd much rather see Kobbie Mainoo in there. Kobbie Mainoo he's a centre midfielder, more of a centre midfielder than Trent. But you know what? This ain't all about Trent, because he did what he did. He didn't have a great game, but he didn't play badly where it was like a liability. He wasn't a liability in there. But, you know, I'm just saying there's better options. So if you see this, I'm not saying Trent is bad. I'm just saying there's better options to do the job that you've asked him to do in there. Bright sparks for England. Obviously Saka. And I need to try and put this in a way that makes sense. So for me, what you see Saka doing for England tonight, or what we saw Saka doing for England tonight, is what we always see from Saka. Is what people just, for whatever reason, turn a blind eye to it. I saw someone tweet where someone was saying people were asking for an unknown player, Cole Palmer obviously, to start ahead of Saka. And I just don't understand. Like, we see with our own eyes what he does when he plays for England. Forget the Premier League, because he does it in the Premier League too. But we see with our own eyes what he does for England. But for whatever reason, when people are doing their starting lineups and whatever, they're leaving Saka out. But then next game, when it's like, oh, who should start for England? I'm pretty sure there's going to be, oh, you bring Cole Palmer in, blah, 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 blah. Like, yo, can we just stop this now? Like, Saka is probably England's best attacker. I wanted to say player, but I don't know if that's just me doing bias, letting my bias creep in. But he's definitely England's best attacker. He's definitely England's biggest threat. I believe that in terms of impact, nobody is impacting the game like Saka is. So I just don't understand why people just like to act like it's not a thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And this ain't even about Foden and Saka, because people like to use the whole, oh, Foden's got better ability. But Who impacts the game? Who's more effective in games? Foden today, these are the games where if we're going to talk about you being world class, if we're going to talk about you being this generational talent and the best player in England, because you were voted the best player in England, and if we're going to talk about you being that, these are the games where at minimum you need to contribute. But I felt like England carried Foden today. Foden was a passenger today, and you know, he obviously needs to do better, but these are the games you just want more. No one's going to look at Saka and think, you know, yes, Serbia stepped it up in the second half, and Saka kind of faded a bit, but the whole of England kind of faded, if I'm being honest. But no one's going to look at him and say he had a bad game, even though the second half, you know, he's maybe started tiring and whatever. But they're going to look at Foden and think, yeah, you had a bad game, but it will go under the radar. He gets a full 90. And for me, if it's not working for him, like, you got players on the bench. Like, bring on Cole Palmer. Do you get what I'm saying? Don't just let these guys play 90 minutes and they're stinking out the place. It makes no sense. Like, and for me, the bigger thing is Southgate has players who he picks, and he does it every now and then. He picks players who he doesn't actually trust. Like, if you can see players are having a hard time out there, if you can see that it's just not their day, you know, let me just say that it just wasn't Foden's day. And if you can see that, use your squad. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and do the right one. You're taking off Trent, and even though Trent weren't great, like I said, you're bringing on Conor Gallagher at a time when England need possession. Do you get what I'm saying? At a time when they need to retain the ball, you're bringing on Conor Gallagher. Bring on Kobbie Mainoo. Bring on Wharton. Do you get what I'm saying? You've left Maddison at home. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not great. Obviously, they won the game, but it's just not great. And yeah, I do think that watching that game again, England got the win, so that's the most important thing. The performances, they might even just come later on, because if they go and win their next game 5-0, everyone kind of forgets about this game. But as it stands, 1-0 against Serbia, allowing Serbia into the game, allowing Serbia to be the better team in the second half. You just kind of want more. You kind of want more from your first game of the Euros. Do you get what I'm saying? When you look at all the other teams, they put out, like, they got their wins, statement wins, like Spain, Germany, whoever else, like Holland got their win, like. But you just asked for a bit more, but it was just a bit lackluster and kind of just coasting through the match. I'm not really going to get onto Harry Kane, because Harry Kane had literally had nothing to work with. And anyone that knows me knows that if I've got a chance to get onto Harry Kane, I'm going to get onto Harry Kane. But he was literally feeding off scraps today, and the only thing he can do was just dog work, and he was winning those free kicks, and he tried. Do you get what I'm saying? And, you know, he had that chance that the keeper saved, and if it weren't for a good save, he would have got his goal as well. And then we would have just been talking about, it's a good performance from Harry Kane. But I feel like Harry Kane did as much as he can do in a game like that. Bells. How can I forget about Bellingham? Oh my gosh. Listen, Jude is the guy. This is a Jude Bellingham stand right here. And those of you who are loyal and been listening to me for time, I'm talking about since 2018 and them things there. I've been saying, is it 2018? When was his first tournament? It couldn't be 2018. Whatever his first tournament was, I've been saying, yeah, that this guy, he is, it might be 4 years ago. Yeah, whatever. This guy is the guy. Jude Bellingham is the absolute truth. And what I don't like is that Musiala played how he played for Germany, and he played well. He played really, really well. And all of a sudden, people were talking mad about Jude. Like, what's Musiala playing well got to do with Jude Bellingham? Do you get what I'm saying? And people suddenly forget what Jude is on. There's a reason why Jude cost 100 mil. And you could say English tax, but he didn't go from an English team. Like, there's a reason why. He just has that X factor about him. Whether you want to admit it or not, we see it. He has that X factor. Musiala, player. But I'm not even here for the comparisons. They're both good players. They're both really, really good players. They're both doing their things. I personally Personally, I prefer Jude Bellingham. That's just because I feel like he just has that X factor. He just makes the difference in, or can be the difference maker in certain matches, in the biggest games. I feel like he can be the difference maker. And a lot of people are watching Musiala in this and thinking that's the Musiala that you get week in, week out. And I'm sorry, it's not. But again, he's young, so I'm not even going to hold that against him. But for me, it is, you can't talk mad about Bellingham. You can't talk mad about Musiala. They're both really, really good players. And I just didn't like how Musiala performed and then everyone all of a sudden, yeah, Bellingham. Yo, why are we acting like Bellingham is not that guy? We're acting. He plays beyond his years. That is the biggest compliment I can give it. Plays beyond his years. He's here for it. There was a bit today where he barged one of their players. Yeah, like he's got the arrogance that's going to carry him to the top. Do you get what I'm saying? So he was a player today that played well. Declan Rice, listen. Declan Rice, he, at this point, yeah, in a game like today, Declan Rice isn't going to get many plaudits because, the attackers will get more. So Saka and Bellingham are going to make the headlines, I'm pretty sure. But you see Declan Rice, yeah, his ability to sniff out danger and just always consistently give you an 8 out of 10. And because he gives you a consistent 8 out of 10, his 8s look like 6s sometimes because he just goes about his business. The amount of times he bailed Trent out or bailed one of the defenders out, like, flawless game from him today, honestly. And I'm just so happy that he plays for Arsenal because Declan Rice is one of the best midfielders in the world. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that. I'm not saying that based off today's game, obviously, but I'm basing it based off what he consistently gives you. He consistently gives you the best protection. He consistently gives you, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the grit needed, the hard work, the dog work, and he does it at a high level. And the best thing is he's going to get better. He's going to get better. But yeah, no, listen, overall, man, England played, they got their win. And I think it's easy, and it's because I've probably been doing it here myself where you become a bit critical of England, overcritical. They got their win at the end of the day. The performances might come because if they played well, like out of this world and lost, we'd be saying the same thing about them. So England are kind of like in a lose-lose. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they can't win. And I think it is important to just remember that they got the win and the performances might come. There's things that, games like today can maybe teach you something. So, next game, Mainu might actually come in or Foden might go back in. Like, you just hope that you learn from things and you just kind of improve as the tournament goes on. It's always better to get your crap performances out of the way early and win than, get crap later on. So, yeah, what did you guys think of the game? What did you think of like the players, Trent in midfield, the defense? Do you feel like the defense is gonna get moved to? Like, let me know. I've got a longer podcast. I'm still talking, by the way, but I've got a longer podcast coming up after all the round one, and I've got a guest to talk about that with. And you lot are gonna like that guest. But pardon me. Yeah. So. What else? Let me just go through some of the other games very quickly. So, obviously, Germany won. Shout out Havertz, obviously. Arsenal first. Euros fixtures. Okay, let's see more matches. Okay, Germany, Scotland, 5-1. Musiala obviously got a goal. Havertz, Fulkrug, and Wirtz. Yeah, that was just easy work for Germany. I feel like Scotland could have at least put up more of a fight, but it is what it is. Germany came out, statement win, home nation, did what they had to do, and did it with a little bit of style. Do you get what I'm saying? And yes, Scotland weren't great at all. So you can't really use these games as a way to be like, oh, they're going to be tough to beat, because Scotland weren't great. But when the opposition isn't great, I think it's even more important that you go out and just totally just use it as a statement. Do you get what I'm saying? Musiala, what a player. What a player. Like, his ability to go both ways is just, it's mad. It's mad. Hungary, Switzerland. You see Mbolo, yeah? Mbolo's very, as he was coming on, I was watching that game, and as he was coming on the pitch, all I was thinking was, he's going to score. Like, I know nothing about what Mbolo gets up to during the season. But when it comes to these tournaments, I know he's going to show up for Switzerland. Do you know what I mean? He could drop absolutely crap numbers during the season. But you know what? For Switzerland, he'll probably score. And I knew he was going to score. Like, someone tell me, I don't even know who Mbolo even plays for. Who does he play for? Let's see. Mbolo. He plays for Monaco. I didn't even know that. See? That's a good team as well. I didn't even know he plays for Monaco. So yeah, Switzerland won. Spain, Morata is another one. Morata's always going to score for Spain, and sometimes you don't need that guy that's going to bang 30 goals a season, because Morata's not going to bang 30 goals a season, but he's always going to score for Spain. He is reliable for Spain. And obviously he's not of the ilk of Torres in his prime or David Villa in his prime, but he just does the job for them. And when you've got a team of people that keep the ball like Spain do and control possession and will create, you're gonna get goals. Because even his goal, look, one pass through into his stride and he finished. Like, it's an easy goal for him. Do you get what I'm saying? And they've got good players. Yamal, listen, yeah, good player for 16 years old. That assist he did for Carvajal was really, really, really good. See Rodri. Listen, I understand Rodri didn't only lost one game this season, but we don't always have to mention every time Rodri plays that he only lost one. Listen, we don't. Okay, we get it. Like, can we just let it go? But what a player Rodri is, honestly. Another statement win from them. Went there, controlled the game. Croatia weren't great. Well, no, once, you know what it is? They started well, but once that first goal went in, they kind of just like crumbled. And then all 3 goals went in the first half. Who else? Italy, Albania. Italy got that thing about them where they don't scream special, but tournament know-how is a real thing, and that's what they have. They've got that tournament know-how, and that's probably what's going to carry them through. Netherlands got their goal, Weghorst. Yeah, this Netherlands team doesn't really scream like winners. Yeah, this Netherlands team doesn't really scream winners. It kind of just, they got like a couple midfielders. Obviously, De Jong's injured, and Wijnaldum doesn't really, he's not starting for them. But you're looking at the team and you're like, yeah, the better teams will get them out there, to be honest. Slovenia, Denmark was a 1-1, and obviously England, spoken about. Tomorrow, Romania, Ukraine, Belgium, Slovakia, and Austria, France. Ooh, Austria, France tomorrow should be a good game. Another one where France are just going to probably come out and just batter them. But yeah, listen, guys, that's it from me, man. We're back. Look out for the clips or just head over to my social media at Dapo CEO, and you can see what I was up to in Nigeria. But I'm going to put the clips out here as well. Yeah, guys, get in the comments. I'm going to try and record as much as I can during Euros, and we're going to see the progress we can make. So if I can do that, all I ask is that you guys just rock with it and share it and support it and comment and engage. I do my job, you guys do your job. But yeah, that's it from me.